Welcome to Scrum Down, your one-stop shop for matters rugby, and we've got fantastic rugby action indeed. It is the National 7 circuit that kicked off 2 weekends ago, and there's big action. So we started off with Kabeberry Sevens and thereafter Dallas Sevens. Awesome rugby action that has KCB leading at the top. But just a quick recap of all the action that went down.
Mombasa hosts the third leg of the 2014 National Sevens Rugby Series, the Driftwood Sevens, on 23rd and 24th of August. Series champions KCB, who are also the defending champions of the Driftwood Sevens, are the team to beat heading into Mombasa. KCB claimed back-to-back victories at the Kabeberry Sevens in Nairobi on the 3rd of August and the Dallas Sevens in Kisumu on the 10th of August. KCB faced Kenya Harlequins for the third time in 3 tournaments, having beaten Queens in the Kabeberry Sevens final and the quarterfinal of the Dallas Sevens in Kisumu. Queens are on 29 points in the standings, a massive 15 points behind series leaders KCB, who are on 44 points. Pool A in Mombasa will have KCB, Kenya Harlequins, Catholic Monks and KCA. Hot on the heels of the bankers in the race for the national title is Homeboys RFC, a team that is just 8 points behind KCB. Homeboys was the team of the tournament in Kisumu, losing in the final to KCB. But their hard-running style of play is a handful for many teams. They are in Pool B with Nondis, Kisumu RFC and Thika RFC. Pool C, the group of death, comprises of Dallas semi-finalists Nakuru, Western Bulls, Mwamba and Black Blood, while in Pool D, Impala Saracens will do battle with Strathmore Leos, Daystar Falcons and Cabras. Impala are tied 4th with Strathmore Leos in the series with 28 points. Impala look like a serious challenger at the beginning of the series. With no assignments until the Safari Sevens in September, National Sevens head coach Paul True is on a scouting mission, a mission that has also some research element for his technical team.
I think this is a great opportunity for us to see, what kind of talent there is in Kenya, and also to understand, I think, the psyche of our own players and to see, why they play the way they do, because obviously they've crafted their skill, with their clubs and then coming into the national team. But I think this is a good platform for us to scout for local talent, and hopefully some of these boys will be selected and drafted into the national squad and to prepare for our most important season, which obviously is the Olympic qualifying season going into the 2014 and 2015 campaign.
Pressure is also mounting on the technical bench after a poor showing by the National Sevens team in the concluded season. The Kenya Rugby Union top management wants to see changes in the team, changes they believe will inject new hunger next season. Driftwood will mark the halfway point in the National Sevens series with Prince Louis Sevens in Nakuru and Christie Sevens in Nairobi, the last 2 tournaments in the circuit.
Is cantering all the way to the try line, one of the fastest back row players you'll ever see.
I was happy to see Paul True and Felix Ochieng taking notes. That's very, very important because we want to see a few changes with the Kenya Sevens going forward, because the depth that is being demonstrated here, all those world-class players who are on show here must also be given an opportunity to play for Kenya.
So KCB has a commanding lead at the top with 44 points, followed closely by Homeboys, and thereafter we've got Kenya Harlequins and then Strathmore in there. Now, let's talk about the last 3 circuits. This weekend we've got the Driftwood Sevens taking place at the Coast, a 2-day event, and of course this actually has a bigger pool of teams. We've got 5 pools.
Bigger pool, and also I think during this past week, probably training sessions had the most attendance.
Yes. People
normally happens before the Mombasa.
True. And I know guys in Nairobi, guys across the country are going to be going down to, because this is actually a very big tournament. It's actually a decider. It is. Yeah. Because if you look at the performance of KCB, for example, they've won two legs so far. They just need to win 1. Okay, they need to win 1 leg. And that's
clinch
it. They
2 semis also, even if it's not winning a leg.
So this is actually a decider. So if Homeboys want anything in there, they really have to throw the spanner in the works. If Strathmore want, something in there, they have to do it as well.
Kenya Harlequins as well. You could have mentioned them, but I think, this is for KCB to lose, because it's like you said, it's a decider. And
Jason, you've coached. Do you see anybody standing in the way of KCB right now?
I'm going to be very neutral here, because I called it last week. I said Mwamba is going to win Driftwoods, and I hope they do. So don't let me down, boys. But the reality of the matter is KCB on massive role right now.
Yeah.
The momentum they've gotten from
Too far ahead
Kababerry, Dala, it's very hard to see who's going to stop them. And I think we mentioned last week, one thing was their adaptability. They adapted to the different teams they played in the final, which was phenomenal by the technical team at KCB. So it's going to be it's a tough order, but let's see what happens.
Jotham, yes, put one in. I know you're eager, itching to put it in.
No, I'm just going to say Catholic University. Well, that's it. Just
Down, remind you once again, our social media platform is open for you. You can engage us on Twitter at ScrumDownRugby, also on Facebook, ScrumDown. Right now, we move on to player profiles, and we're profiling a player who is bulky. He's got mass. He's been the captain of the Kenya National Sevens team, and that is Andrew Amonde. Gentlemen, I mean, needs no introduction whatsoever. Jotham, you've seen him play.
seen him play. He has the bulk, and also surprisingly enough, he has the pace.
He does.
He does have the pace.
And fantastically, technical-wise, major improvement over the past 3 years.
He's actually stepped into the role of captaincy very well.
Absolutely, and the leadership is great to see.
Well, leadership is great to see. Let's see Andrew Amonde on player profiles right here on ScrumDown.
The story of 30-year-old Andrew Amonde follows the script of so many other players in Kenyan rugby. They are professionals in other fields, and rugby comes second in their careers. But first things first, Andrew Amonde is the captain of the Kenya Sevens rugby team. The last tournament was the Commonwealth Games in Scotland, where the team bowed out at the quarter-final stage. According to Amonde, things did not go according to plan, even after putting in a lot of work.
The only thing you can take out of this is the hard lesson that we have picked from this is that we go back to the drawing board, try and get everything right, because there are things that keeps on eluding us every time that we work so hard and we don't get the rewards. The little things that we need to change and the little things that we need to fix in the team. I think those are the things that we are going to work on basically and come back a better stream.
After the conclusion of the 2013-2014 season of the IRB 7 circuit, Amonde led a group of 17 players to beef up the national 15s team. They played at the 2015 Rugby World Cup qualifiers in Madagascar, where they narrowly missed out on the ticket to the World Cup. Switching back to the Sevens team and the Commonwealth Games was a bit of a challenge.
I think it just affects the rhythm a little bit because it took us time to come back and adjust to the Sevens rhythm. And also, we didn't spend much of the time with the Sevens guys. The guys who were training mostly back in Nairobi didn't get the chance to travel. We had to come from Madagascar and join the team later and just travel to come over here in Glasgow.
Andrew Amonde first played for Kisumu RFC before switching to KCB RFC in 2005. This is where he announced his arrival on the big stage, a position he claims he has earned through hard work and prayer. He took over as the captain of the Sevens team in 2012, but has also won the armband for the national 15s team.
Oh, I started my rugby in Kisumu. I played for the small team in Kisumu RFC. That time we were not in the top Premier League, we were down in the second leg. That's why I was picked up and played for KCB since 2005. I've been with KCB and I've played my rugby in KCB until to date.
It has been a long journey on the international scene, where Kenya is now a core team in the IRB series. Kenya has produced some of the biggest names in Sevens rugby and is a team to watch always, as they can spring a surprise at any given time. Despite all that, the team is yet to win a major trophy. Amonde says some things have to change.
I think the level of professionalism is the only different thing, and the level of play. We cannot compare our local circuit with the RB circuit. The kind of players, the caliber of players that are available, those sides are very different. I think we just need to pump a lot into our local game and to be able to raise the standards where we can say it's more competitive, and that we can come here and compete with the other guys.
In addition, the team is forced to play without its stars in some of the tournaments because of school or work commitments. Amonde says the bar has now been raised high and it will not be business as usual if Kenya is to make an impact in the IRB 7 circuit.
I think my biggest highlight is playing in the finals. Once playing the finals when we were in New Zealand, that's what we can say the biggest achievement we have achieved in sevens. Some of the highlights is playing in the World Cup, reaching the semis and losing to England at the semis. And then being here at the Commonwealth, my second time at the Commonwealth Games.
In his time in the Sevens team, Amonde has achieved quite a lot. These are the memories that keep him going, that urge him to put in a little more effort every time he wears the Kenya Sevens rugby shirt.
It is going to be a bit difficult because we just need professional players. I think it will take time for Kenya Rugby to be able to get that standard, to get everybody, or to get somebody to sacrifice their whole life to come and play rugby and forget about books. It's something that it's being tried, but I don't see it working because most of the guys Kenyans are not sports oriented. They are mostly on books. You have to get your books first because you can turn to rugby. Rugby is only done as an hobby in Kenya, and that's the thing. It affects us in our performance. We just need players who can say they are professional players who will come and play rugby and live from it.
Amonde is currently with his KCB team, a team that is leading in the Kenya National Sevens Rugby Circuit competition. The new season for the Sevens team starts with the Safari Sevens in Nairobi in September. Then the IRB Sevens Circuit kicks off again at the end of the year.
It will be a showcase for everybody to be able to see the kind of standard of where rugby is, and for the young guys who are back home, they can also see the caliber of players who participate in such tournaments.
Remind you once again, you can engage us on Twitter at Scrum.Rugby, also on Facebook, Scrum. We love to hear all your comments and anything that you like about the show, anything that you want to see, we're going to be bringing it to you. Now, Pritt Nyandat, he's been a stalwart. He's played for Mwamba RFC his entire career. Started off, of course, with the Stan Charter Club that was there back in the days, but then went to Mwamba. He's actually a guy who has revolutionized the women's rugby in this country, and he's a true legend. I mean, he's actually among the first people to start with Sami Kimei, coaching the ladies team and bringing them where they are right now.
No, absolutely. I think the dedication, both during his playing days and also coaching days with the ladies rugby has been fantastic. It's a credit to him. It's a credit to the game. It's a credit to our union as well. I mean, we now have a women's team that is competing for the highest honors. You know, looking to go to the World Cup. You know, looking to compete it does compete in a number of 7 circuits as well. So it's absolutely fantastic. The foundations that he has laid together with Sami Kimei, you know, really helping the current technical team with the girls right now.
I mean, this is a phenomenal number 13. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Pritt Nyandat on Rugby Legends.
Pritt Nyandat's career began way early in 1973 while at Nairobi School. At the time, he was more interested in other games such as hockey and football, and rugby was not entirely of interest to him until he got a push from a person he views as his earliest mentor.
I was actually introduced to the game by one of the people I call my rugby mentors, by the name Chief Edebe. He actually looked at me and said I was a bit athletic, so he said, no, you must play rugby as opposed to swimming, football, hockey at that time. So I always consider him my mentor in starting the game.
In 1976, things finally took a different turn after 2 of the school's top players in the 15s team were critically injured while playing against Lenana. Pritt, to everyone, became the man of choice to fill one of the voids.
The way I got into the game was, I think the vice captain of the first 15 said there was a player who he had observed playing for the house team and was pretty good, but he never used to come training or didn't try out for the first and second 15s. So I trained for the first and second 15, I think for 1.5 weeks, and I mean, the master was saying, where have you been all along? You seem to be a pretty good player for this position.
Having spent a lot of time in training, he mastered and concentrated on the best techniques to meet his first challenge on the pitch after being called up for his first big game against rivals Lenana. And true to the phrase, practice makes perfect, he achieved his goal.
Interestingly enough, that was my first game for the 15s. It was against Lenana. I was put in, and I remember I think I scored 2 tries, and for the first time in the history of Nairobi School, for a very long time, we thrashed or beat Lenana. And everybody was just saying, hey, it looks like it's this young guy who has done it for us. And the first season I played for first 15, I got my school colors, player of the year and school colors, honorary school colors for being the outstanding rugby player of the season. I must say that that team of 1976 was an exceptionally good team. Thinking of all the players, they all went and became Kenyan stars, most of them.
After his high school career that saw him clear his O and A levels at Nairobi School, Pritt decided to venture into an earlier passion he had, football.
Rugby just died with Form 6 for me, and I went in football. I was playing for a local football club called Mwamba RFC, and they used to train at Railway Club here. The reason I joined that club was most of their team players used to live where I was living, somewhere near Kangemi. So we used to train that side, and then as a local team, and then as a club we'd come and train at Railway Club.
Things took a different turn though, and Pritt hit a snag in pushing his career to the next level after a government directive terminated his football dream prematurely and revived his love for rugby in one day.
All tribal clubs were banned at one time by Moi in 1979. Yeah, I think most of the teams, Abaloya FC, Gor were also in problems. Mwamba RFC was disbanded. The other team was what? Maragoli FC. So after taking up football training for just before the season began, I think we played only one game. The team was disbanded. And I was at Railway Club here now, wondering what to do with myself in the evening when the announcement was made. And as I was walking, it was also the same training day that Mwamba RFC were training. So as I was walking back, I decided to stand and watch them. I knew everything about rugby, but it was not where I was interested. So one of my former teammates, the one I've mentioned called Buba Mwimi, saw me, and he started telling the coach, Mushila, Dave Mushila, that guy, that small boy there is very, very good. Pritt, come and join us, come and join us.
Pritt eventually joined the second team of Mwamba, Pebbles, and he slowly gained recognition. And as fate sometimes has it, a repeat of his first high school calling to the first team recurred.
How did I get into the first team of Mwamba? Same season, that is 1979. One of the star players for Mwamba, I think he was called Mukuria. Ben Mukuria got injured. Suddenly there was, now who is going to play for Mwamba in that position, the second, in the next Saturday. I think once again the captain, Bimbo Absalom Mutere, just said, no, this boy during training is bad news. Let's just throw him into the deep end. And Jimmy Owino, I remember coming to me and telling me, we're going to play Impala. They're actually very tough guys, but don't worry, one of the players you'll be playing against, he used to play with you, he used to play against you in Nairobi School, and he's playing for Impala, so he's the one you'll be marking, so don't worry. And besides, anyway, I'm there. And you know, Jimmy was twice my size. He was big.
With a career in rugby that has spanned over 4 decades, Pritt remains a true legend with a reminder to the young Turks.
I must say that rugby is something that I enjoyed playing. I enjoyed the fellowship with others. There was a lot of buddyism during our time. Rugby is both physical skills and also mental. You have to come to the game. And if you come with the wrong approach, even somebody who's not stronger than you will beat you. They'll slip tackles, you'll miss tackles, you'll take the wrong options. And if you allow your opponent's tails to go up, normally it's very hard to reverse it.
All the way to the try box. And he scores.
That was Pritt Nyandat, a true rugby legend. Right now, he's still dedicating his time to rugby, still supporting Kevin Wambua with the ladies team. And of course, always, never misses a game.
That's how you tell true dedication, that despite the fact that he stopped playing years ago, you still see his output, and so you still see his input in the game locally. And keep in mind that the women's team, for the first time ever, will be going down to Hong Kong later on this year to qualify to be part of the top 4, I think, RIB 7 series.
Yes.
So I think being able to be part of that also must be a dream come true for him, and also good results for his hard work.
Well, speaking about good results for hard work, I know people who are expecting some good results this weekend at the
lot
Drift
of
to
people are
Sevens
expecting
is KCB. They want good results for all the hard work they've put in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a big one. We've got 5 pools. Pool A, I mean, it should be pretty straightforward because you've got KCB in there. Harlequins.
I think Catholic University and KCA.
And KCA. And then, of course, another pool that maybe we need to look at is the pool of death. People are calling it the pool of death.
Yeah.
That has
Nakuru, Western Bulls, Mwamba, and Black Blood.
I mean, it's not going to be a walk in the park for either of these teams.
I mean, especially if you see the fact that Nakuru actually brought in reinforcements. I mean, the Kenya Cup players, the Kenya team players coming in. So I think it's now just up to Mwamba to now stand up and prove that,
come on, dude, really, are you going to go there? I know Nakuru RFC, they are at number 6.
Number 6.
Impala is just above them.
Yep.
At number 7, we've got Catholic University.
I wanted you to say that. I didn't want to say that.
Which brings us the Scrum Down fact of the week. And the Scrum Down fact of the week is that for the first time in their rugby history, Catholic University have made it to the top 10 in the National Sevens circuit. That's a fact. I mean, you have to give credit where it's due. They deserve to be there.
I think they have worked hard. And just throw back to the pool of death, I think it will come down maybe to a lot to technique and strategy. And as you mentioned early on, who can bring in the plan B
when it matters, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, they just wowed me. I mean, they made it to the top 10, and you're like, gone are the days where the 4 or 5 teams are always there.
Yeah.
So Catholic University, kudos to you, and Mwamba RFC at number 10. You need to pull up your socks, man.
But no pressure, eh? No pressure, guys.
We're going to win it. We're going to win it.
Anyway, look, go out and enjoy some rugby. And of course, we'll be bringing you all the rugby action from Driftwood sometime next week. Until then, enjoy some rugby.